What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Taste Like Music. Jason, Joe, and Krams are here coming at you with a new music review. We're talking about the new record from The Weeknd. It's called Dawn FM. Just came out this past Friday. And here's what we think of it.
Everyone all at once. Go ahead, Joe.
As a resident Weeknd hater of this channel, which doesn't make sense considering like our usual styles and everything. Something about him I've never quite got. After Hours, I like some of the singles, some of the songs, but as a whole, it just felt one note to me. It felt kind of recycled. And this one, it's kind of exactly the same to me. It's even more one note. There's like literally one mood and one tempo on this entire album. And it just cuts through everything. There's like not even a hint of like a major key in here. I don't think he ever really changes his emotions enough to make the songs interesting from song to song. I think the songwriting is okay. I wish I liked it more because it's that cool kind of 80s drum machine, big synths, a little Daft Punk stuff. But there's just something about him and his style and his music that just does not do much for me at all. I'm giving it 3 stars right off the bat, same as I gave After Hours, but I like this one even less than After Hours.
I like this less than After Hours as well. I gave After Hours 3.5 stars 2020, and I'm going 3 in this one, which is still in my good range. It's a good album, but your review is spot on. It's very one note. It's very one thing. The thing that it does is really cool. I think that this album just suffers from, like you said, a lack of expansive emotions and traits and diversity and dynamic. The only thing that's different really from moment to moment is he brings on some guest singers and stuff and spots, and then you get those little breaks of like the futuristic, like allegories from like the radio DJ and stuff. And all of that's cool. In fact, the first time I've listened to it twice. The first 15 minutes of it, I thought it was so cool that I was like, this is a hell of a way to start off the new year with my first listen. But then, like you said, it never really changes at all. I really like the Radio Dawn FM introduction in the beginning, and when they kind of splice it in with that DJ sort of thing throughout, I think it creates a cool little narrative and, surrounds it with that cool atmosphere. And it kind of gave me Prince vibes, like Dearly Beloved vibes. And he even later says in this thing called Life, I think in the song Gasoline. But it sounds good production-wise. It's got those futuristic party synths. Actually kind of reminds me of some of the synth work on Daft Punk, like the Tron soundtrack almost. It definitely does not have the standout songs that After Hours does. And I think that's one thing that hurts. The songs have hooks, but they're not quite as catchy and simple and as accessible as the highlights of the last album. There's more clutter and texture and color, and it's more of like an artistic journey. You even get some songs that are like linear from track to track where it just kind of cuts and the new track listing starts. Yeah, like you said, it just doesn't break apart from the momentum that it starts right off the bat, and it doesn't really create a ride for you at all. Just flattens out. Just 3 stars for me.
So I kind of agree with you guys. I've always really liked his voice, and I've always thought that he had a ton of potential, and I still don't think he's quite reaching it. I think the 80s throwback thing that he does is really cool. He's really good at it. He kind of nails it, but I think he could be just as good if he was doing something even more interesting or more artistic. And I also like that he does like this kind of conceptual type of pop where there's an idea. And on this record, the idea is that it's like a car ride taking you from purgatory to, I guess, heaven or the afterlife. And so you're in this car and you're listening to the DJ, but you're actually like in the process of dying. It's a cool idea. And all of the little like interludes and snippets and like Quincy Jones talking and Jim Carrey talking and all that stuff is really cool and interesting. And I like that kind of stuff on a record. But I want him to push it further because it seems like all the songs don't really have a ton to do with the concept. It's just like this a bunch of pop songs with a concept kind of slathered on top of it. And I'd like to see him, in the songwriting get deeper into the conceptual ideas that he's kind of putting forward. I don't know. He kind of feels a little trapped between his artistic ambitions and his own success and his desire to like stay successful and keep making these big sounding pop songs. I feel like he wants to go further and push the envelope more, but like he's always just kind of stopping short. There's a bunch of stuff on this record that kind of leads me to believe that, especially things like the Tyler Creator feature, which I don't think there's any reason for it. It adds nothing to the song. It doesn't push the concept further at all. I think the songs are decent pop songs. There's good hooks. It's well produced. I love the bass playing on it. And I looked to see who was playing the bass, and I think he's playing a lot of it himself. There's only 3 bass players credited. One is him, one is Max Martin, and one is another producer that gets credit on like 2 tracks. It's kind of confusing the way it was listed, where I was looking at the credits, but I mean, if it's him, that's very impressive. I expected to see a name like Thundercat or something like that, because I thought the bass work on this record was excellent. So there's a lot of good things. I enjoyed it. I think it's a good listen. I'm going 3.5, but I'm kind of near you guys. I think it's a weak 3.5, but I'll stay there for now.
I don't know. There's something lacking in the chorus department for me on this. Like there's no build up to any choruses, like ever. Like keep waiting for like a big chorus to get me. Because a lot of these songs have that kind of like Michael Jackson 80s DNA, where like you feel like it's going to build up to something, and then like it just kind of flatlines. I don't get any excitement from his vocals. And it goes back to that one note thing where it's just, the mood is just always this. Like it should be highs and lows. You're talking about the concept of, riding to die or whatever in a car and listening to these songs. Like there should be some more emotion coming through if that's your concept. Otherwise, it's just sort of like him rehashing what he's been doing in the past couple albums, and that's fine. But I don't get the adulation for him in general. And this one's getting all sorts of crazy good reviews, so I don't quite get it. Be missing something, not hearing what other people are hearing.
I like what Jason was saying about like him having a great voice and having great ideas. Maybe he needs a songwriter or whatever, like to really flesh out, or a different producer. I think the best song on it is How Can I Make You Love Me? But I remember reading a book about Rush. We all love Rush, as everyone knows. I can't remember, one of the producers that came on in the 80s, Terry Collins, maybe? They said like the best thing he taught them was when they're writing songs was like between your verses and your bridges and your chorus, they should feel like major changes of scenery. And they learned that and kind of did that. What Joe is kind of saying, I agree with, like his songs don't feel different. Like as soon as they start, it feels the same way 5 seconds in as it does 40 seconds in, 2 minutes in. Even like Blinding Lights is pretty much like that. Like it just starts off and then it changes a little bit. It has a catchy chorus, but he doesn't put you through a ride. There's no emotional shifting, like the change of scenery.
I believe that's Peter Collins, right?
Yeah, maybe it's a Collins.
Yeah, so The Weeknd, let us know what you think of it in the comments. Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed the video. You can find our website down in the description, as well as all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Find us there, follow us, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.